All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Foreign Domestic. We are joined by a very, very special guest. Hasn't been here with us for a little while, so we're happy to have him. Before we get there, we're going to switch it right over to Alan, whichever way he is. Damn camera.
Yeah. I'm over here, wherever you are. Been a great day. We got the side chat starting to fill up, but prior to that, we'll continue with the usual form here.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
Prior to that,
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Is that you, Alan? Is that you, Alan? All right, someone's got it running. All right, someone's got it running.
I muted myself to see if it's me.
All right.
I muted myself to see if it's me.
I don't know. It might be me. I did. I'll mute myself.
I muted myself to see if it's me.
I don't know. It might be me. I did.
Yeah, okay. All right. I'm sure he'll jump back in once he figures out what's going on. So, how's everyone going?
Oh man, it's other than it being winter, it's been a great week. We currently are sitting at a real feel of negative 25 degrees. And that's cold enough. But just so you know, there's a possibility, and I could be wrong. There's a possibility that there's going to be a knock at my door at some point during the show, and I may have to answer that. Might be a slight possibility that I'm going to be visited by a couple individuals that may want to have a couple of questions for me.
And why would that be?
Well, so I'm not sure if everybody else experiences this or not, but it happens extremely frequently for me, where I'm getting texts and phone calls very, very frequently from numerous different presidential campaigns and so forth. I've never gotten one from Trump, but I've gotten ones from Bernie, and I've gotten ones from Biden, and I've gotten ones from people I've never even heard of. Hey, elect Pete for president. Who the hell is Pete? I don't care. But Elizabeth Warren has really, really been chapping my ass bad. I've been getting numerous over the top amounts of texts and phone calls. And just a little bit ago, soon before the show started, I got another phone call from the Elizabeth Warren campaign. So this phone call from the Elizabeth Warren campaign, I immediately was like, look, you guys are violating a federal law. I have requested numerous times to get taken off of your call list. And it just doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. Your campaign is violating a federal law. Get me off your list. And the gal, proceeds to continue with this tape loop over and over. Well, I'm just a volunteer. And I said, yeah, you're a volunteer for the Elizabeth Warren campaign. In the name of your campaign, you guys are violating a federal law. And eventually the woman hung up on me. Well, you know, Scotsman, you've been here. There is an Elizabeth Warren campaign office directly across the street from my house. And I have never stepped foot into this place until this evening. Directly after that phone call, I strapped on my beanie and my boots and I went across the street. When I approached the building, I noticed that they were having a very, very large conference style meeting in this campaign area. And they were having a nice little presentation there. And there was tons and tons of people inside this building. I walked in and said a lot of things. I said a lot of things. I said, this campaign is violating federal law, and I am sick and tired of it. And pretty much went off in their facility. At this point, nobody in the building was willing to say a word to me. Wasn't gonna address me. They're all just like sitting there looking at me all and like, oh, what? Did I hurt your little feelings, people? Because in the name of this campaign, it's violating a federal law. I've requested over and over and over again, and still I am getting harassed by this campaign, and I am sick and tired of it. Eventually, a lady comes in from the back, and she's like, "Oh, well, do you have the phone number of the people that called you?" And I said, "Yeah, I do." And I pulled my cell phone out of my pocket and I showed her the phone number. And I said, "You see that number 12 by it? It's because they keep calling me over and over and over again. And this is harassment. So do I need to file a federal complaint against the Elizabeth Warren campaign?" So yeah, I ended up leaving peacefully. And they probably continued on with their meeting, but just my demeanor and their hurt little feelings might prompt them to have law enforcement come over and ask me a few questions.
Well, if nothing else, it'll make for a good show. Jamie, what's up, brother?
Been out of town this weekend, man, but I've not had to deal with any harassment like Alan's dealing with. It's like, I know what they're thinking as soon as you turn around. Calm down, you turn around and leave, and they call you blankety blank conservative. Somebody needs to deal with you. But yeah. Good job, brother. Sick 'em, boys. Sick 'em.
I really wish I could have been a fly on the wall and watched that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I almost thought about taking my phone and putting it in my breast pocket and filming it. I just, I kind of don't want to give YouTube any fuel for them to be able to make money. And speaking of that, there is one special guest before I read off the side chat. There is one special guest that I would like to thank for being here, and that's our special YouTube viewer. And I have two gifts for you. Yeah. There they both are. So right now, according to the grand YouTube, the participants list is saying Alaska 1 Andy, Bearded CB82, Blue Hewler 260, Chris 338, Fuzz Fork 8. Fuzz Fork made a comment about saying a prayer for the people out in Virginia. That might happen. Insight Freedom, JH here in the room, Kingpin, Led 85, that's entirely too many numbers. 8541, Mystic Guns, NEPA Gun Talk out there, New York Outcast, OCD Outdoors, a Parasitic Generation, Primal Wanderer, JB, Razor JB doing blue work out there, Scott P79, Tattooed Dragon 8, the Texas Outlaw himself, Michael Signs. The list just keeps hopping all over the place. I'm Not Will Rogers is out there. I have no idea what YouTube is doing with this list. Tread has been here since the beginning. Good to see the name change there. Redbird 491 also jumping in. If I missed you, it's because, well, YouTube didn't put you on the list.
Well, surprise, surprise. Good to see everyone out there, that's for sure. So, Jamie, you were out of town, man. Was it work related or?
It was kind of ministry related. I'm in leadership of Christian Motorcyclist Association. We have 3 or 4 get-togethers a year where we're pretty much required to be there. And this was one of them. And so, yeah. One of them kind of, you want to do things, you know. Wish you could do more. But on what Alan's talking about a little bit, and one of the things that you know we're dealing with YouTube. I got a call from a YouTube content creator, as they call them. I do not like to refer to human beings as creators, but anyway, you know, we make our content. But a person who makes content and has significantly more subscribers than I do, and yeah, hey man, I'm just fortunate that somebody like this dude would actually give me a call. But he shed some light on this thing about handling firearms on live streams, and I can get where he's coming from, and I can understand where, as he explained it to me, so, you know, basically just, you know, do what you got to do. Don't handle any firearms. Don't give them any grief or talk bad about them, and all this is going to go away eventually. So I think it will. But what they're worried about is somebody actually being shot or killed on a live stream by somebody who is not as inept as we are, as somebody that's as experienced as we generally are, you know, handling a gun in an unsafe way, and somebody actually dying or being very seriously injured on YouTube. But, you know, I want to say, what are they griping about? I mean, everybody would flock to see that video. You know what I mean? But I don't know.
Well, and I absolutely could be wrong, but there has been people in live streams that have had accidental discharges, negligent discharges, whatever you want to believe. I don't really believe in negligent discharges. You know, accidental discharges is it could be a possibility. I don't know. You know, have I handled firearms inappropriate on live streams before? Scotsman, can you answer this question?
I'm gonna go with a strong no.
Have I taken loaded weapons and just dropped them on camera? Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe so. Maybe not. You know, it's basically they just, yeah. What are they, you know, so we can't show off a project that we've been working on. Yeah, I can understand them. Oh, well, we just don't want somebody being shot. on camera, then why were they allowing so many swatting videos? Why were they allowing that to happen? Why didn't they come out with some big rule or come out with some regulation? You know, gamers are playing games and SWAT is kicking in their door. You know, what's the possibility of someone getting injured or killed in that manner? But they didn't make no fuss about it. Not only did they not make a fuss about it, but they didn't take the videos down. They didn't shut anybody's channels down over it. They weren't even issuing any kind of reprimands or violation of guidelines or, you know, and it was a big streak for quite a while where people were like calling in SWAT teams because it was like the cool thing to do to somebody on a live stream.
Well, what I got a problem with is somebody being so pompous as to think that they have to save me from myself. Come on. That's where all this big government is coming from, and y'all all know it. So I'm so stupid. I got to have Big Brother to take care of me. Yeah.
Yeah, sort of like this this coffee cup here. I'm not sure if it'll come through on camera, but it says caution hot. It's freaking coffee.
Duh.
I would have ordered iced coffee if I wanted it cold.
Then there'd be a warning on it saying it's cold. Don't hurt yourself 'cause it's cold.
Yeah, where's the warning for cold items? You know, where's the warning that says that if I drink this Slurpee too fast, it's going to hurt my brain? You know, it's trying to make the world idiot proof. You know, saving the people that should be naturally selected. So I'm all for natural selection, by the way.
Yeah, stupid people shouldn't procreate. Yeah, don't show plastic straws. I like old Ghost Rider. He's a pretty cool dude, man. But so when you say swatted, are we talking about people being on a live stream and the SWAT team actually coming in their house?
That is exactly it.
During
That
their
is
live
exactly
stream?
it.
What
They
goes
were-
on here? Somebody that's watching's calling the cops, and
Yep. That's precisely what was happening. And according to Rune, Rune's got a good one out there, and it has happened where people were doing live streams, and for a while, especially, it was happening in the gaming community. And people were calling in and giving some kind of something, and SWAT teams were showing up at people's houses and busting in live on live streams.
so what rock am I living under that I don't hear about these things? Oh, I forgot. I don't watch the news, so
Even if you did, you wouldn't see it.
well, I sure ain't going to watch the mainstream liberal brainwash shows. I mean,
No.
CBS, CNN, NBC. Am I wrong?
Nope.
It's liberal brainwashing, isn't it?
It is. That's all it is.
Well, and it was pretty funny when I was on the phone call with this gal. She had this tape loop that she just kept repeating. I'm just a volunteer for the Elizabeth Warren campaign because I'm a concerned citizen of our United States democracy. Our United States democracy.
Okay. Okay, I get
And
phone
the first
calls.
time she said that, I said, stop right there. Look up the word democracy in any of our founding fathers' documents and tell me where it's at, because this is not a fucking democracy. You're living in a republic and you're not going to change it to a democracy.
But democracy is mob rules. If we went just by the number of votes, you would be changing your mind. You'd be stuck for 4 years for whatever hot issue of the moment is that gets the most votes. And yeah, our founding fathers knew what they were doing. You talking about her campaign calling you. I got a call from one of the political parties, and I don't remember which one it was, and they were asking me what I thought about particular issues, and I tell them. NRA called me at work the other day, and I did a survey for them. Then less than a week later, they called me at work again. This time they were asking for money. Of course, they always want money. They always ask you for money, even under the guise of doing the survey thing. So basically, I said, look, man, you got all the money you're going to get out of me. I'm a life member, and you compromise on gun rights with the left. I'm sick of it, and I don't want you to call me at work anymore. And they're like, oh, I'm sorry. And then she hung up. I bet you $15 next week I get another call from the NRA.
Oh, you will. Heck, I'll put $100 on that one.
Go check out Gun Owners of America, people.
You know, the NRA are ridiculous. I don't know how many times I've told them where to go, where to stick it, because I'm sick of how they don't do anything.
Oh, they do a lot. They do a lot. They constantly send you mailers asking for more money, and they call you all the time asking for more money. Well, they do a lot to try to get more money out of people. That's, yeah.
Put Jared Pierce's comment up there. And that's exactly right.
Yep.
What's going to happen is liberals are going to keep voting to give their stuff. And where do they get it? They get it from the other 49% that's paying for everything and working for a living, like us. Till finally, they're taking more from us than we get to take home. So we quit working. There you go.
Yeah. Razor makes an excellent point too. They waste a ton of money in mailers and calls and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for the longest time, you didn't hear about the NRA doing anything for anybody's rights or anything else. The only thing you heard about from the NRA is, we're now coming out with insurance and you should buy it because we're the NRA. They started another completely different business platform. Yeah, it's utilizing their top demographic, but you didn't hear them about doing anything out in the world to try and protect those fucking rights.
Well, that's it. I mean, look at Virginia, and immediately the GOA was on it, filing an injunction, filing a lawsuit, and where the fuck's the NRA? Nowhere to be seen.
And that's their home state.
Yep. They can't even show presence in their own state because they're pussies.
That's sad, man. That is sad. To be a gun rights organization and let that kind of crap be going on in your own home state.
Yep. Yep. They should have been on the Capitol grounds themselves fighting.
And it ain't so, you know, what I think the worst thing about it is that crap spreads. Soon as liberals get it just halfway passed in a state like Virginia, next thing you know, we've got the same legislation introduced in Georgia. And the thing about Georgia, what makes it so scary is, you know, we're a very conservative, very red state, except for inside that perimeter, inside 285, inside Atlanta. And they just keep piling people. All them liberals keep coming to Atlanta. If we're not careful, they're going to outnumber us. So we've got to fight. We got to fight now. We got to fight hard. Thanks, Big Al. We appreciate that.
Kingpin does have a point. So the NRA held a rally in Virginia on January 13th. How little to no effect it had, I give it that. They held a rally. They didn't bring their A game by any means. And I think that they could have done so much better. It was such a meager, it was like a save your face effort, in my opinion. There wasn't any real backing. They didn't put any major backing into it at all. It was just kind of a show of name, more or less a show of force. But it had to no avail.
Yeah, and to Razor's point, I hope they don't go in the same direction. They've been doing a good job so far, and hopefully they don't get so big that they decide to crumble just like the NRA. That'd be sad to see.
Well, like you said, Scotsman, they filed suit against the governor. They sued the governor of Virginia.
Yep, they did that, and they filed an injunction and everything else. I know the injunction was turned down, but they're still fighting it.
Yeah, and apparently the word has come down that, the governor and all these people have abandoned the capital city in fear of what's going to happen. What's going to happen is people are going to be there. There's going to be a lot of people there, and they don't want to admit that what they're doing is completely wrong. It's not like that governor doesn't know what he's doing is wrong.
He's just trying to push the limits and see how far he can push it.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen it's getting so vicious on both sides. So
what's happening with the ban in Georgia? Is that going anywhere? Is that seen any light?
I don't think so. I called my guy, my representative, to the state, and just so happens I went to school with his younger brothers and sisters, and so I'm like, look, dude, this crap ain't gonna fly, man, and you know it. So
Michael signs out there, only the guilty run. Their Thoughts of an Old Soldier brought up the state senator and the statement that she put out. Amanda Chase is her name, and I would have completely forgot her name. But she put out a very, very telling statement. And if you haven't heard about it, Guns and Gadgets did a video on it. Very, very telling, very compelling, very, they're doing wrong and they know they're doing wrong. But they're prepared to do whatever they're going to need to do to take whatever they want to take away from it.
Yeah. And there's going to be a lot of other organizations there, Razor was saying as well. And they're gonna push their limits too, because they know they won't get in trouble. They'll throw it back on the gun owners.
Yeah, Jared, they know better in Alabama, and they should know better here in Georgia. It's just that we've got such a large liberal population in downtown Atlanta, and what we call Midtown, inside the perimeter is what it's referred to, 285. But yeah, that's where all your rich liberals and your you got two extremes inside there. You got the ultra rich and the ultra poor right there. Not mixed, but yeah, living inside the perimeter. And I think it's like that in most urban areas, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, probably. I mean, Atlanta's pretty bad though. I mean, I don't know if it's quite as bad as like Chicago or anything like that, but it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
There's a lot more liberal not showing up in there, that's for sure.
Atlanta is a nightmare, Jared, particularly our sports teams. They get you so close and then they just crush you.
Yeah, I'm just, as a mild conspiracy theorist myself, I'm certainly hoping that there's no plant that gets put into that situation, and then just that's utilized for fuel for their fire, because what the possibilities of that are. The percentage of that being likely. Oh, well, some Trump supporter decided that he was going to open fire.
Exactly, Michael. Exactly. I saw Pop's Quest out there. He got some good comments. And Michael's making some pretty good videos. Big Al said they passed constitutional carry the first day the new governor was in office. Now that's conservative. That's what we like to see. He said he also missed the old Omni Arena. They built a new one. They're calling it State Farm Arena now. It was Phillips Arena before that. It's like everything's got to have a corporate name now so we can get as much money as we possibly can. And then charge you so much money you can't even go do anything there. Depending on where you park to go to a Atlanta Falcons or Atlanta Hawks game downtown, it's anywhere from $20 to $50 just to park.
Yep. It's crazy.
Yeah, and depending upon where you park, you may not have a vehicle when you come back. I mean, we are talking Atlanta here.
You're gonna say you gotta watch certain parts out there for sure.
Yeah.
I was forced to go to a game before when I was out there due to work, and I tell you, that parking area was pretty bad.
Pretty sketchy, huh?
Yep.
You know, the bad thing about this is in any ballpark, and I don't think it's just in Atlanta, I think it's across the nation. To get into a game, baseball, football, basketball, any of your major sports, y'all tell me, Pop likes NASCAR. Okay. Y'all tell me, because I don't know about hockey. I'm a Southern guy, and Pop, you can chime in on this too. Do you? I had to go see the Falcons. I had to walk through a metal detector. No way I can take a knife, gun. I have to put my like going to the courthouse here in town. Put everything in your pockets, you know, and let them in a tote and let them check it out. Then you pass through the metal detector. Is that the way?
That's because most Falcon fans are criminals. It's proven.
Why you think they call them the dirty babes, man? Most of the players are too. Hey, there's a reason Chico calls it the dirty South.
That ain't no joke.
That ain't no joke. And we're not near as bad in Atlanta as it is in New Orleans. You want to see some, sure enough, weird stuff. I remember the Flames, Soldier. I really do. They were a good team.
There we go. Right there. I'll support that right there.
Yeah. I don't do the booze, but I'm down with all the rest of that. Problem is, you got people who do the booze, and they are carrying too. The Kingpin says,
I mean, I used to live in a town that did a lot of rodeos, and we would go in there, and I liked the rodeos because, you know, there was a lot of American patriots there. They'd always had the stars and stripes showing. They would always have the music going in the beginning of everything. Have some Southern belle out there look like a pear, sing like a partridge in a pear tree. She was just a phenomenal singer, whatever. She'd do the whole spiel. And, you know, all these patriotic Americans, but we'd walk in there with a couple of fifths of this or that. And myself and a group of, I would root for the animals just because that was fun. Because you get like 8 or 10 people at a rodeo rooting for the animals, and the rest of the crowd kind of turns on you. So that was our own form of entertainment during the rodeos, though.
That's crazy. Guy's engine got swapped out while I was at the game.
that's quick work. That's a NASCAR pit crew had to do that, man. No kidding.
Yeah, that's pretty damn crazy right there.
Yeah, when I was a kid, Alan, my dad used to carry me to wrestling, and then I freaked him out when I started pulling for the bad guys, you know. Y'all think what you want to about wrestling, and I know Pop's fixing to go 8, and Big Al too, and Jared. But you know, there is a sports talk radio station here in Atlanta, and they have a show on Thursday night about pro wrestling.
And them boys are serious about that business, man. I'm telling you, they are dead set. They play it up just as well as everybody else did. You know, we used to love that stuff way back in the day. You know, and even as a kid,
there you go.
Even as a kid, I knew, you know, hey, it's scripted. Hey, you know, those guys are in there. They're a lot of times they're taking a lot of risks, and yeah, there's been guys that have died in the ring doing stupid stunts or or whatnot. Used to love that stuff. It was what I called the male soap opera.
Yeah, that's about right. Treads keeps dropping the link out there for Mr. Holster fundraiser. If you guys are able to, please jump over and help out. I did talk to Mr. Holster today and got a little bit of an update from him. Not looking too good, but at the same time, it's a little bit more positive. He did end up in the hospital over the weekend. His fluids dropped a little bit, so they had to take him in and kind of boost him up on his fluids and get him going again. But with that, he was able to get his own doctor back and get some scans and everything else. So, which isn't going to rape him. So that was good to hear. So we're hoping to get some more news soon, next week or so. So again, if you guys can help out, please do so. I will have some more stuff coming up here for prizes and stuff like that. But again, it's not about the prizes, guys. It's about helping him out and trying to help out the family to make sure he's taken care of.
Yeah, a lot of the professional sports, it was mentioned in the side chat earlier, a lot of professional sports are, derivatives of the Roman Colosseum blood sports and death for entertainment kind of thing. And now we just don't kill each other. We get close to it. Back in the mainland, Scotsman, what was the big sport?
Honestly, we just played a lot of football, man. Proper football, not American football.
You mean that stupid, like, octagon looking ball thing?
Yeah, that and rugby, a man's sport.
Now, rugby, I can get on board with. Soccer, I just, I'm married. I call it soccer because it's soccer. It's not football.
It's football. You don't use your hands in football. I've never understood that. Why call it football if you're going to use your fucking hands?
Us Americans, we take terms and we improve them and make them our own. That's why we don't speak English. We speak American. Sort of like we took the imperial measurement system and we changed the name to the standard, and we've made it better because we changed the name.
Bullshit. Absolute bullshit. No, rugby is a man's game, dude. There's no freaking pads involved, no spandex. It's just guys getting ready to do the job and get it done.
Well, yeah, and in soccer, the stupid yellow card and green card and red card, and I don't understand all that. I don't give a shit about all that. All I know is that some guy can hit the field all by himself, like somebody fucking tripped him, and he twisted his ankle. We have to stop the whole fucking shebang for an hour and a half while they nurse this guy back to health.
Hey, you know what? There's an art to the falling down. There's an art to that. They'll be knocking that.
Sorry, I had to run off.
I really want to see some good players that are good at that. Go watch Brazilian football. The Brazilians have got that shit down on art.
Yeah, it is an absolute art. And you want to talk? I mean, these guys must have taken like drama acting classes. because it's so traumatic. I don't I just don't get it. I watch it for comical entertainment more than anything.
Yeah. I swear the Brazilians probably took classes, man. They have that down to a T.
So soccer's like that. Soccer's big time drama, big time acting.
Oh, that's exactly what we're talking about. Those guys, I mean, yeah, we've had a number of other people jump in the side chat. New York Outcast, Firearms 101, MCK's still out there. I can't believe I thought they were just going to hop in for a second. Jared Pierce, Warthog 71. There's quite a few that have jumped in as of late. Ghost Rider's still out there. Gunpowder Beauty jumped in to join us. Yeah, it's going out there in the side chat.
Always good to see everyone out there. Yep, that's exactly it, Tread.
Yeah, you expect them to, like,
whenever they can get it.
You expect them to get up off the field and have like a bone peeking out the side of their leg or something, because they're just so overly traumatic about, you know, this tumble that they took, or and it's really funny to watch because they'll look around and they'll look to see where the refs are at before they do it.
Yeah, and a lot of times, and this is where the Brazilians have it down really well. They'll get the ones that are on the sides, on the corners, watching the guys with the flags watching. They won't play the main ref in the middle because a lot of times he can't see. So they'll play the ones off in the corner because it's a whole different angle.
Oh, Warthog, that would be the illustrious Pop's Quest. We thoroughly enjoy that he shows up just to do it. We enjoy it even more when he interjects or even joins the room. Because let's face it, he's easy to look at.
He's a lot easier to look at than us, that's for sure. I mean, Jamie's a whole nother story because Jamie's got the best beard on YouTube, but you know.
Do I sense a man crush going on here?
No.
Okay.
No, but I will say, Jamie, that if I did a battle of the beards between yourself and Santa Claus, that I'm pretty sure you would take that.
I can go with that. I heard over the holidays that when these guys that do Santa Claus and they work for photographers, they get $200 an hour to set for pictures. Wasn't that Alan telling us that? That was Alan telling us that, wasn't it? No?
Not I, sir.
There's Kenny Eagle Eye Shooting. What's up, brother? He did a video last week where he was shooting cast bullets at 500 yards and ringing steel like a drum, man. That was sexy. He's got like 22 cents a round in those things.
Yeah.
That is awesome. I got to get in on some of that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how he was able to get lead to attract to magnets like that.
He's got that giant one right behind the target. You can't see it. That's why it doesn't really swing. It just hits it and kind of moves just a little bit.
Look at CB. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to. There we go. Oh. Oh, we let our secret.
Yeah, sorry. I didn't think that I was letting anything out that wasn't already known.
Yeah, Jamie. So you should probably do that this coming year, man. You make some good money.
Who knew, man?
That's nuts. You can make a lot of good money like that. Heck, I might even dye my beard white.
You're gonna have to put on a lot of weight, brother.
Yeah, you're too tall and skinny.
Yeah, I accidentally got hit by a steamroller. That's why I'm this tall and skinny.
Tell the truth. How many of you, when you were kids and you sat on Santa Claus' lap, how many of you reached up and gave that beard a good yank?
I think everyone did.
I think everybody did. And you could tell the ones that were fake. So, they can yank on mine. It's going to hurt a little bit, but they're not going to pull the beard off my face. That's right, CB. Me and you are in the same suit, buddy.
Well, CB's getting there. He's got a little bit of that distinguished look, but he don't have the full claws going on.
And I've only got the 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 kind of showing up here and there, so I got a ways to go.
Well, mine's just gray. It's not white like Santa Claus's is. So I'd probably.
Now I'm getting advice for what I can do. I love it.
That would definitely be the gal that would be in the know.
So what you working on, Jamie? You're obviously working on something, so you close the camera off.
I'm working on supper right now. Wife just came in and we're very late. We're being out of town really messed up our schedule. But lucky thing is we got a day off tomorrow to celebrate Dr. King's birthday. I hope everybody will take a little while and just remember the sacrifices that he made for our country so that we all have a better life. But I'm thankful to have a day off tomorrow. I need it after that trip.
Yeah.
But I got to go in here and tend to the youngin' for a second, and I'll be right back.
All right.
Rigby's here in case anybody wants to know. So, she'll probably be running through in a few minutes. So I'll be right back.
All right. So, Alan, what you got coming up new? Anything?
Not a whole heck of a lot. I haven't been able to get out definitely this weekend. It's just been miserable. The amount of snow and ice that we have, the amount of ice especially. And like I said, when we started the show, as of current, it was the real feel outside was negative 25 degrees. And it's one of the things that I just honestly despise about Iowa. I am so sick of winter already.
Man, you still got a while to go.
Still got a long while to go. And so getting out and even testing 10 millimeter rounds is just gonna be rough.
It might actually be easier for to find the brass, though.
It will. It will, because we get this thick, dense of snow, and then it just freezing rain. So it just like sits right on the top until it melts in. It's been rather miserable. And so getting out and doing anything is one thing, but it is giving me time to build up the nines and produce a broad range of 10s to figure out exactly where I want to be on that. So I don't really have that much in the way of free time as it is, but that's been helping out just because the weather's keeping me indoors.
Well, that's good, man. I'm glad you're spending some time on the bench. That's good.
Yeah, the turret that I was sent did get mounted up to a matching bench that I had for the single stage. It took a little bit of legwork to find a matching bench because they just aren't being made anymore. And so early this past week, I found a store that was almost an hour and a half's drive from me to get it. And I was like, it's getting done, because I'm not going to do any more of these nines on the single stage.
Yeah.
And I've put the 10s in the single stage because I'm still in round development.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm taking a little bit more time rather than wanting to chuck out more rounds, and getting things dialed in for that. So it's all mounted up, and that now is chewing up the nines.
That's good, man. That's good. I'm glad you're taking your time with the development process too. That's good.
Yeah, I'm nerding out on it. I fell down a rabbit hole with it, of course. But the hardest part is, like I said, is just getting out and being able to test to see what it really likes. I mean, it's eaten everything that I put into it yet, but what it really likes is another story. I did get some other powder, and I did get some other rounds. So I'll be toying out with a couple of different kinds of powders. And got a few built in that as well. I forget the name of it. I'm so bad with names.
What powders you get? We're listening.
I'm so bad with names. God, it's a black and blue container.
Why don't you get up? It's right there. It ain't that far a walk. We're eager to know.
Alan,
the
man said get up and go get the powders. He wants to see what they are.
No, it's nothing special. You guys have seen it before. Actually, Scotsman's the one that pointed me towards it.
So you're probably using what, power pistol?
Yeah. Rather than tight group.
Power pistol works excellent in 40 and 9mm, so I'm assuming it'll do great for you in 10mm.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So what you been up to this week, Scotsman? What's been killing your time?
Just been working, man. Like last week, I needed sleep. I'm not gonna lie, I needed sleep. So, I wasn't on any show last week because I really needed sleep. Not gonna say it happened, but I tried to sleep more. Yeah, and I've just been working, man. Still learning a lot on the job, and it's going good.
Yeah, I think I turned in 62 hours this past week. Ended up doing 6 days in the week, and it's pretty good. I like a job where I'm very versatile and do many different things. Doing the same thing day in, day out, it'll drive me batty. I get thinking out into left field about something completely different and lose track of what I'm doing. And if I'm working on a machine or something, that's not a good thing.
Yeah. We got, let's see, I got 1, 2, 3, 4. I got about 6 different machines that we run. And at any one time, I could be running 3 of them. I could be running 4 of them. I got to run back and forth. And some of them you're dealing with a lot of robots, and you got to really pay attention. And there's I forget what the heck they call the little keypad that you have to use to control the robot if something happens with the robot. But it's a pain in the ass. And that's the one I'm really working on right now, trying to get that figured out and learn the controls for that, because there's just so much on there. But the rest of it, I got down pretty good.
He does sleep more, Alan, because I can be at work and I'll get a text from him anywhere from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And I'm thinking, you work at night, dude. When do you sleep?
See, generally when I get off usually around 7 o'clock in the morning, roughly, and I'll stay up till about 3 or 4. That way I can try to sleep all the way through, get up 9:30, and go to work. Doesn't always work that way, but
yeah, when I used to work third shifts, that I understand. There was times where I'd get off work, I'd come home and mow my lawn and do this, do that, and try to stay up with the family. No, out, like the second I sat down I'd be out. Just shut me down. But there was some nights where it was like, okay, well, yeah, I stayed up with the family. Oh crap, I got to be at work in 2 hours. So yeah, it does it like that sometimes. It did it for me sometimes like that.
Yeah.
I work.
A lot of people go home and sleep right away. I can't do that.
Had you ever suspected the reason why they put you on the night shift is because people just didn't want to see you during the day?
Well, I'm sure that's probably true too.
They're scared. They're intimidated.
But honestly, I don't care. I work with one other person, which is awesome. He can be an ass here and there, but that's all right. We get along fine. 2 assholes don't make it right, but they get along okay. And then I have to deal with the weld line every now and then. That's it.
Well, you do a show on YouTube, usually on a weekly basis, with 2 asses. It seems to work all right.
Yeah. Goes okay. And my boss is actually not too bad too. He usually comes in around 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. And I'll see him 2-3 times before I leave, and that's it. He's pretty easy going. Just don't screw anything up. That's the main thing. That's it. He'll leave you alone, but if you screw something up, he'll be on you. And I can understand it. You know. So far, let's see. Been doing that, what, 5 weeks now? Somewhere in there. I've only had less than $1,000 of scrap. So it's not bad.
Armament Naxxus says that my boss is pretty crazy, is pretty cool. And you know, that's pretty judgmental of you. I'm just saying.
Yeah. See, and then we got this guy over here too. He's my other boss. You know, he's a real fucking ass. He really is. Terrible to work for. The hours suck. I mean, damn, man.
And clearly he don't pay you for shit.
You know, it's rough, man. You get off of work, you drive up to PA, and you spend the whole day up in PA, and get bitched at the whole day, and then you drive back, and then you go to bed, get up and go to work. It's rough. Definitely rough.
I worked second shift for a while, 4 p.m. to midnight. That is the worst shift you could possibly work.
Yeah, they've asked me a couple times if I'd be willing. Not they wanted to put me on, but willing, and I'm like, nope. First or third, nothing else. And this guy is actually really good to work for. You know, all joking aside, he's actually really good to work for. Talks a lot, but he's good to work for.
I actually kind of enjoyed the 4 p.m. to midnight shift. I did that for a minute and really kind of enjoyed it because it felt like I got to sleep in every day. That I was, you know, still like the lazy 20 something or whatever, because I was getting up at, you know, 1:30, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And then by the time I'd get home, everybody was asleep. I could just kind of tinker around in the garage, do whatever I wanted to do, and hem haul around for a little bit and go, you know, drink 6 or 8 beers in the garage and then go to bed. So it kind of worked out for me, but
Yeah, it's, I don't know. It just seems like a weird shift to me. First and thirds are okay. Like, I like thirds just because I can get off, have the whole day as long as I can stay up. You know, don't get me wrong. There are some days I get home, it's just like, nope, I got to sleep for a little bit. But
The worst
whole
schedule,
day, do stuff, then go to bed.
the absolute worst schedule I ever worked was a 12-hour swing shift where you work from 8 to 8, either during the day or at night, and it rotated. That will mess your body up so bad, and just I'll never do that again, Lord willing.
So, no, it's not Natty like, because if it was Natty, I wouldn't go back and work for him again. Yeah. 101 pays me in good beer.
well, Inside also has a very valid point. Although I didn't particularly care for doing lawn care and drywall and everything else that guy had me doing, you know, feeding chickens and goats and ducks, and just, you never knew, but you did get paid in Miller High Life, you know, the champagne of beers.
Yeah. We all miss Midas. I got to give him a call and see what's going on, see how he's doing. I know he's staying busy out there.
Yeah, so for the winter months, I mean, there in the past I've done rifle builds and pistol builds and stuff, and you know, this year I just haven't been doing that. I started getting into something else with the boys that are in my life, and so I've been kind of doing that in between doing the reloading thing. And so that's been keeping my what little free time I've got pretty much utilized.
Yeah, if the snow ever decides to go away this week, I'll try and get to the range. I would like to get out and shoot some. I got some 44s loaded up to test out. I got a couple other guns I got to shoot that I haven't shot yet, and get some brass ready to rock and roll for those, and then I can start working on load development for those. And yeah, I need to get to the range. I haven't been to the range in a little bit, so.
Couple that you haven't shot yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and real quick, Kenny, the 6.5. I figured out what my issue was with that. I just got to get it back out to the range, and I'll be able to get it dialed in. I messed with the adjustable gas block too much the last time I was out, so I opened it up way too much. I guarantee you that was the problem I was having. So we cranked that baby back in a little bit, and I'll get her out to the range and shoot her again, and she should be good to go. Get her dialed in. But I do have 45, 30, and I think that's it right now that I haven't shot. Because I still got to get scoped for the 243, and I still got to get a scope for the 224 Valkyrie. So until I get scopes for both of those, I can't really shoot those. And I'm still waiting on the muzzle brake for the 224 Valkyrie. I ordered that almost a month ago, and it still hasn't shown up yet. I'll be making some calls this week, probably. Find out where that's at.
So has anybody heard about how the ATF is now questioning their them calling the AR-15 receiver the firearm? Because there's been a number of cases that have gotten thrown out of court by people making 80% and so forth, that it actually doesn't fall into the actual description of what the ATF considers a firearm.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. I know I heard some talk here and there a little bit during the week, but I haven't really looked at anything. So,
I mean, what they considered it to be a firearm is, yeah, it houses the trigger group. Yes, it houses the magazine. Their legal definition, the AR-15 doesn't meet their technical definition.
Mm-hmm.
Because it also, their definition also includes the breech lock and a barrel apparatus that can be screwed to it, and because all the upper mechanism is also included in what they consider to be a firearm, and so the ATF doesn't want to screw with it. But they're starting to get heat over it.
Yep. Yeah, they've gotten heat for years on that one. The lowers and the 80% lowers, they've gotten a lot of heat over the years for it. We've always questioned it. Anytime I saw an IOI we had someone come in, we bring it up to them and say, hey, you know what? And a lot of them go, yeah, we agree that they can't do anything because they're on the lower level. You know.
So, I mean, as just open discussion, what would we, as gun owners, what would we consider the part of an AR-15 that would be the registrable item? What, you know, if it's not going to be the lower, what is it going to be? The upper? Is it what part of that is it going to be considered the firearm?
Yeah, I mean, you'd basically either have to be a complete firearm to make it a firearm with that serial number, or serialize the uppers and stuff like that. And then again, you get into a whole nother realm with their definition again, because a lot of times that won't meet the classification either. So it's really, in my opinion, it should probably be just the whole firearm complete. But I doubt that'll ever go through.
In my personal opinion, if it absolutely has to have some serialized part, and that serialized part has to be registered, whatever, I don't disagree with it being just the lower. It's such a modular setup. The AR-15 is just so modular that it would open such a can of worms. And I think that's where the ATF is coming from, is, you know, what are they going to like try and force the industry to sell just lowers and uppers that are serialized together? That's a huge violation. They can't do that. So, I mean, if it has to be that something has to have numbers on it, and that part is what's considered the firearm, then why not just the lower receiver? We see it in the modular pistols like the P320, where the firing group is considered the firearm. You can't fire anything with just the fire group. That doesn't constitute anything. But that one part can be interchanged with so many different things that it's the main heart of it all. And so considering the lower portion of the receiver being the heart of it all doesn't amaze me.
Yeah, like I said, that's been going on for years. I doubt that anything will ever happen with it, but who knows?
I think the lower for an AR-15 is kind of like a brass in your round of ammunition. It's what holds everything together and kind of unites the whole thing. But if you look at these older Milsurp rifles, and I don't know exactly the reason for it, but I think it's for more of keeping things together, you know. But a lot of different parts on an older bolt action military rifle have serial numbers on them, or part of the serial number.
Mm.
Well, and you can see a lot of the older firearms and stuff would have the same serial number on all the parts. That's what you're saying, right? So because a lot of those parts were being hand fitted, so that bolt had to be hand fitted to that receiver. And so will it work in another receiver? Yeah. Is it gonna be anywhere near as proper? as in the receiver with the matching serial numbers? No.
Well, it may not even work because you're
But
talking major headspace differences with receivers, bolts, and barrels. You know, yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is that it may not even work. And so there was all these parts that were theoretically interchangeable, but they technically weren't.
Yeah, I mean the other part to that too is a lot of times with those, you'll have part of the serial number missing on one area of the gun, and then the whole on one area, and so on and so forth. And you got to be real careful with that too, because depending on where it is on the firearm, will make a big difference as to where that part's missing.
It seems like that the main serial number, which is probably 7 to 10 characters long, is on one part of the gun, maybe on the barrel, but on your bolts and your sometimes even the stock, and then the trigger housing, lower metal, and all that. They'll have like 4 or 5 numbers of that serial number to work with as they're fitting and putting guns together.
Yep.
So I guess I answered my own question, or we answered my own question.
So I see Warthog 71 is out there. Good to see him out there. He actually sent me a gift this week, and you guys will see it here soon. I was not expecting anything whatsoever, and was blown away when I got the call. So very, very cool. So you guys will see that here pretty soon.
Did you finally get that blow up doll you always wanted?
Not the one I wanted. No, he got me another one though.
Very nice, very nice.
But you guys will see it here soon. I'll make sure it's cleaned off for you first, though, so you can.
He wanted the Demi Moore one, but he had to settle for the Marilyn Monroe one.
Yeah, the stupid serializing of numbers thing, and the idiocracy that we were starting to hear from the left a little while ago, and I love how it went completely away, disappeared in the wind, because it was such idiocracy of serializing ammunition and micro stamping of firing pins, so that every time a firing pin set off a charge, it left its own particular mark. And that was just such insane bullshit.
He's lying.
Man, when I was growing up, I was a big time Elton John fan. And then it came out that he was the way he is. And I was like, no way, man. I'm crushed.
Yeah. He might have wanted the Elton John, but he got the George Michaels. So, I mean, how could you not know that Elton John's gate swung that way? I mean, that even as a child, that was obvious to me.
Not to me, man. I led a sheltered life, man. I grew up in a small town, Northwest Georgia, dude. Get real.
Guys, go check out the new video from Rick after the stream. He's got a cool app so you can hear what's going on, kind of see what's going on tomorrow. So make sure to check that out.
Yeah,
Now,
well,
I know Mr. Bald and Fabulous shall be at SHOT Show. And so I'm kind of wondering how that's going to go, if we're going to hear any more about the Grand Power or not.
I don't know. I'm over SHOT Show. I don't want to watch any of those videos. I don't want to see any of those Instagram posts. I probably won't even be on Instagram for the next week and a half. I don't care. I'm over it. Nope. Done. So, has anyone seen anything on the surplus in the M17s?
That's the first time I have actually heard of it. I must be out of that loop.
Yeah, I saw Military Arms Channel had one, but I haven't had a chance to sit down and watch the video or anything. But I saw that he had gotten one, and they're on the market. So if that's your thing, you should be able to find them for a pretty decent price.
well, obviously, Rigby's here, and she has taken over my TV. I was watching the 49ers and anyway, NFC Championship game. Can't remember who they were playing. And they were winning 28-0 at halftime.
So here, let's talk about this for a second too. And I'm gonna try and keep this as nice as I can keep this. But what are your guys' thoughts on Trump tweeting about Virginia but not doing a fucking thing about it?
I can surmise in one word, and then I'll turn it right over to JH. Appalling.
Jamie?
I think our president seems to have power outages from time to time at the most inconvenient time for 2A amendment supporters. And if somebody would take his phone away from him when he gets in the sauce, the world would be a safer place, much more pleasant to live in. I love President Trump, I do, but he
see him do more for what got him in office.
Well,
and this is the perfect opportunity for him right here, and he's not taking it. He's happy to tweet on the phone, but he ain't happy to do anything.
Well, he was, if you remember back, Trump was kind of marred in the primaries, running about even with a few other guys. And then the NRA came out and had him down in Atlanta and all that crap. And big speech happened and NRA supported him. And then wham, he's zooming up the polls. So, he owes the Second Amendment community a lot of support, and we're not getting it. We're just not.
That's exactly it. He needs to step up and do something. It's if there's bloodshed and everything else going on, if that happens to happen, but it doesn't. But if something like that happens, it could have all been avoided.
Mm-hmm.
Really could have, but he's happy to sit back and tweet.
Yeah, that's exactly the direction that I was going to go. If shit hits the fan out there, it could have definitely been avoided with the abilities that he has as president, completely 100% legitimately, with the abilities that he has as president, all of that can be avoided. And I always end up reverting back to, why doesn't the federal government stand up to the states and go, you're violating the Constitution? It doesn't matter, in my opinion, if it's the second, if it's the first, if it's the 14th. States should not have the right to violate the Constitution at all for any fucking reason. That is the point in having the Constitution.
And some people are out there.
You guys can do the rest of it, but this part of it, you have to abide by.
What could he do? Well, the governor declared a state of emergency, so that actually means that the president could go in with the federal government and do what needs to be done. So there's actually a lot that he could do.
Yeah, them declaring a state of emergency allows the federal government to do whatever they want in that state, essentially. In a very layman's way of putting it, that gives the federal government all authority. Oh, well, we can't control what's happening in this state. We're declaring a state of emergency.
What's up, Mario?
Hi. What's going on, my people?
Hey, man, why did this governor pick now to go out of town, Ghost Rider? Where is he? I'm going to send Mario to track him down and bring him back.
Who that?
The governor of Virginia.
Oh, that guy. Yeah, he's
declares a state of emergency, says you can't have guns, and then runs away.
Yeah. That whole thing that's going on in Virginia, man, that thing's getting scary, bro. I mean, honestly, if people are kind of worried about what happened in what was that place called, Charlottesville or something like that? Where that guy, that white supremacist, ran over some girl and she died or something. What was the name of that town? Is it Charlottesville?
Where did this happen? Was it Virginia?
Yeah, this happened like 2 years ago. I don't know if it's in Virginia or someplace. Well, anyways, it kind of started with the whole it was kind of like I don't recall what time. I think it was during the time of Martin Luther King time or whatever. And people were like protesting, and this white supremacist dude comes in with a freaking car, just like runs over some people and kills this lady. And I got a feeling, guys, that it's gonna get violent, man. I really do. I honestly, I never thought that the great state, the Commonwealth of Virginia, would ever be going through this kind of crap. But I'm telling you, man, we're starting to see the capacities that the left will go, especially when they have billionaires like Bloomberg on their side, and getting all this with money. They influence a lot of the stuff that's going on in this world, and I think that's the problem that we're running into right here with them. The problem that we have here in California is we got this billionaire called Tom Steyer. I don't know if you guys ever heard of him. But this guy has been buying billions of dollars of airtime. And I'm sure eventually you guys will see him over there. This guy is a billionaire. He tries to make himself seem like he's the Josiah of getting the country back in order. And in all honesty, this guy is just a billionaire. He's a businessman just like Donald Trump, and he's just trying to make himself seem like he's better than him. But going back to these individual rights, I just got a feeling that this is going to end up getting violent, and it's going to end up getting bloody. And if somebody doesn't do something about it, because I'm be honest with you, if you guys think what happened in Nevada not too long ago with the with that whole stand down with the what was that whole thing that happened there, Nevada, where they try to where those guys are fighting for the BLM land. I forgot the name of the whole situation. I just got a feeling that people are going to stand up, and it's going to get ugly. And you know, because I mean, in reality, most people in Virginia. What's really sad is that I don't think the whole state is being represented correctly. You know, it just seems to me it's kind of like it's very similar to California, man. Like California has all these big cities, and that's where we have all the liberals, and they kind of dictate everything in life. You know,
And that's
but
exactly what happened.
yeah, and they forget about the little people that live in the middle of the state that, you know, and I'm not very familiar. I've driven through Virginia before, but not all of Virginia. It's city like. It's very rural parts of Virginia, and you know, people have a tendency of using their rifles as a tool, you know, to hunt, to whatever they do over there, you know. So it's kind of it's unfortunate, but I got a feeling that it's going to get bad, and it's going to get to a point where, you know, if something not is not done, people are going to die, um, and I guess my biggest fear out of all this is that you know, the governor will use the National Guard, and I don't know how the National Guard is going to react, or whether they're going to stand their ground, or they're going to you know, not interfere. Because in reality, you know, I actually, guys, if you guys don't know, actually I run a National Guard unit, active duty, but I do all the daily operations for a National Guard unit. And we had the same talk when we had Obama in office, and you know, we were asked if, you know, I pretty much had a nice chat with all my guys. I told them, look, man, I really feel that, you know, we cannot do anything that's unconstitutional. You know, we cannot take the individual rights of our people just because some politician who, you know, thinks it's otherwise. You know, we are not supposed to go over there and just start, you know, doing raids on people's houses and stuff like that, or getting to the point where people are being injured, you know. And in reality, if we do that, then we are just as bad as that politician and his crazy ass fucking antics. You know, if anything, we need to uphold the Constitution, because that's exactly what we are. You know, we're all about protecting our Constitution and the individual rights of Americans.
Exactly.
So
Yeah, man.
I really hope that if it gets really bad, that they don't call the National Guard. I got a feeling the National Guard is not really going to interfere, you know. But who knows? Depends. I mean, obviously, if they're being attacked on, I mean, obviously they're going to react. But I think, you know, law-abiding citizens are not stupid. You know, they know what they're doing, and they're not going to want to get into an altercation with the military. And I think the other part that I really don't like about this is that, you know, a military agency is being involved in something that's more of a civil or individual right. And I really don't think that we should be getting called for anything like that. That's where I feel if that would happen, I feel that the president should step in and say, hey, look, you can't use National Guardsmen for this kind of type of mission, because this is you're basically invading the individual rights of people.
Exactly. He's, you know, if he deploys troops on stateside, that's an issue.
Yeah, that's the last thing we need, guys. Is just to create some sort of freaking altercation where we're always shooting at each other and nobody wins that damn fight. Nobody does. And in reality, it's just going to put a black face on the military. And out of all this, you know, out of all the chaos and all the separation between the country, you know, the one thing that's always kind of remained neutral, and you know, on both parties has been the military, and I would like to keep it that way because obviously we don't want to be known as, you know, far right or far left. We are here to defend our country and defend people's rights, you know. But
Yeah.
I really don't want it to get to the point where people are questioning what we do, you know.
Yeah, Chris is out there. He says that they already said they wouldn't do anything. So hopefully that's true. Hopefully they don't.
Hopefully it don't come down to that.
Yeah, we don't want any of that to happen. We want a nice, peaceful demonstration and get it back to what it should be, a freedom state.
Oh, yeah, but they're not even willing to stay in town long enough to see it happen. They don't even want to see it happen. They're just like, oh, we'll, you know, 50,000+ people easily are going to show up to this thing, but we're going to completely disregard your existence, and we're just going to go somewhere else for a little while you do it, because we don't give a shit what you think or what position you stand on. We're going to battle our own position, and we're going to make it law if you like it or not.
Yeah.
That's panty waste, Alan.
But it's getting crazy. I really look at this governor, and he's got way too much. I don't understand where his mentality is on all this.
Well, what Alan said, he's scared to death. He's going to get caught up in this mess, and he's going to have to make some decisions. He's going to have to back up a crazy, unconstitutional decision he's already made.
Right. Yeah, and I get you, because I mean, and I think the one aspect that this governor is not understanding is that he can get recalled whenever he wants. Like here in California, we already have a huge petition against Gavin Newsom because that guy is a freaking antichrist. Like that guy, there's something wrong with that guy. Like he's 3 times worse than Jerry Brown was, you know. And this guy is passing bills that, you know, before Jerry Brown would never really think about ever passing. You know, he is basically taking the rights. Like he recently passed a stupid bill where he's trying to change things about in regards to how much a homeowner can charge for rent and all that kind of stuff. And the thing about it is that his own policies have made it that way. You know, they're the ones that want to give fucking people $15 a day. I mean, $15 an hour on minimum wage. And then you expect nothing else to come up. You know, everything's going to come up if you do that, you know. But obviously they don't have an economist in their fucking staff that understands how shit works. You know, and then obviously, I mean, homeowners and landlords have to raise their rent because, you know, the cost of living and everything else goes up. They have to do the same, you know. And then they start going about the whole thing with the crises of homelessness. And I'm like, you know, in reality, as much I know there's a lot of people that have a tendency of not wanting to touch the subject because, you know, we're dealing with human beings, you know. But, you know, I also feel that human beings are also opportunists. And if you give them an option to, you know, live scot-free and have 3 meals a day and not have to pay anything and no bills to show for, they're going to do it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that those are the things, those are the problems that we have here in California. And it's getting to the point where, you know, it's affecting everybody and everybody's getting fed up with it. You know, everybody's paying so much damn money on taxes and everything. So it's like, it's getting ridiculous.
Well, and they start depending so much on that system, and then they want to live above those means. Well, now they can't get a job because they haven't had a job in 10 years, because they've been living off the system for 10 years.
Yep.
And they can't get a job. So what do? They start selling freaking meth. you know, and so now you got a bigger problem on your hands with something like that, or it's a big giant snowball effect. They want to get by on the easy and have no idea what it's like to put in the hard work that it actually takes, because they've depended upon the system for so long. And then it's like, oh, well, you want me to do this for minimum wage? No, man, I ain't gonna do that for minimum wage. Okay, well, you want a $15 an hour job? There's a company right over there that's pouring concrete, and your ass can go shovel loads of concrete for $15 an hour. Go get it. Oh, that's too hard to work, man. I don't want to do that.
Yeah. And it's sad, man, because and then this is a prime example of what you're saying, man. But then you got fucking Julio over there who will do the same fucking job, and he has no problem with it. But then people are bitching about, well, this guy's taking my job. How's he taking your job? You just say you don't want to do it. You know what I'm saying? So you know, I mean, the biggest problem we have is that, especially here where I'm looking at it, guys. I'm sure in Ohio and in Georgia, you guys have a lot of farming and stuff like that. But farmers are getting to the point now that they don't have enough people to pick up their crops and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And then pretty soon it's going to be to the point where farmers are going to have to they're going to have losses, and they're going to have to, make up that difference. And then everybody's produce is going to go to crazy as hell. So it's like, and like I tell you, I'm not trying to bring the whole immigration thing, because I have my own issues with it as well. But, I think that we need to, there needs to be a balance, But I really feel that, people who are homeless, that they're opportunists, and they'll take it. They'll do what they have to do, man. And it's not a sense of really wanting to help the society. They want people to help them.
Yeah. Well, I hate to end this, guys, but I got to go to work, and there's a lot of snow on the ground, so it's going to take me a while to get there.
Man. All right, brother. Well, be careful out there, man, and hang in there. How much snow you guys been getting over
there? Earlier there was probably about a good 2 inches or so. We'll see I don't know what it's like now, but
wow.
It was pretty decent. I got a bunch of sand in the back of the truck to weigh it down, so hopefully that makes it a little bit easier.
All right, man. Well, be careful out there, buddy.
Yep, absolutely. So with that being said, we'll start going through the room, and we will start with the battle bean.
Well, guys, thank you so much for having me here, Scotsman. It's a pleasure. Sorry, I didn't know you guys were on. Now I gotten here a little earlier, but thank you guys for bringing me in. Much love and respect to everybody in the chat room and here in the panel. And little by little, I'll start making more videos. I've just been really busy, but nice seeing you guys again, and I'm glad everybody's doing well.
Awesome, man. Always good to have you. Appreciate you showing up, brother. Jamie.
I just want to thank you for having me. Sunday nights are really strange when we don't have a foreign and domestic. I really appreciate being on with you guys, and good to see Mario. I've got to do a video about my 3D legend. Hopefully we can still show guns on videos. Scotsman, I got the box. Thank you so much. This is sexy. Thank you very much, by the way.
You're welcome, brother.
I hope a certain firearm will fit in there. I'm sure it will, but I put out for all you veterans, I put a video up on the Reloaders Network today. I hope y'all go check it out. It's called Quilts of Valor. Mario, you especially need to go check that video out. I'll try to text you a link here in a little bit, but
yeah. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
They basically make quilts for veterans and then wrap them up in the blanket, give them a hug and a kiss, tell them they love them, and thank thank them for what they sacrificed for our country. So y'all check that out if you get a chance. I'm going to do a 358 legend video, and got lots of work to do. Hopefully we're going to be getting together here in late April, early May, somewhere around in there at Dead Zero Shooting Park. So I got to start loading up some ammo. And thanks for everybody tuning in. Thank you guys for having me and putting up with me. Check us out on Friday nights. Forward to shooting.
Always a pleasure, man. Always a pleasure. Alan, what you got?
A whole lot of nothing. No, it's been a good night. It's been a good night. Side check was absolutely cracking. Greatly appreciate the guys that joined us tonight. Wish it would have been able to work out a little bit better with TR, but hopefully next time we can get that guy in here and in beast mode with the politics, because I was kind of expecting a knock at my door that didn't happen, and that's always a good thing, I guess. But nevertheless, don't really have anything coming up. The weather here has been absolutely miserable. The snow and ice is piled up everywhere, so I'm just going to keep working on building up my reloads and whatnot. But thank you everybody for coming and participating out in the side chat. Keep the Mr. Holster efforts in your thoughts, and pray for everybody that's trying to fight the good fight out there in Virginia and across our nation. There's a lot of stuff going on that needs everybody's attention and focus to try and even just hold on to what we have still. So please keep everybody in their thoughts and in the prayers, and keep your magazines loaded. One in the chamber.
Awesome. There you go, man. It's how can I follow that up? That was pretty damn good right there. Wasn't expecting all that.
Man, he got deep on you, homie.
Yeah, he did. He did. We got the one, the only. Might as well be out in the side chat. A little late, but
Fuck that guy.
But thank you to Tread as always for dropping links out there. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate the help for sure. And please, if you can, help out Mr. Holster. Again, links have been posted in the side chat, and it's in the description as well. And we will see you all next week. You guys take care. Stay safe. Stay vigilant. Fight for your rights.
Woo!
Woo!